One of the craziest things about being a blockchain developer is that you have open access to a brand new financial ecosystem where you can create arbitrage-based cryptocurrency trading bots that earn you passive income while you sleep. Like this developer who just made over $20,000 in a single transaction right before I started recording this video, all 100% verifiable on the blockchain. But if you want to try your hand at this, then you really need to get good at one thing in particular. And I'm going to lay out exactly what that secret is and how you can get an edge in this video today as a blockchain developer myself who's built multiple crypto trading bots just like this one. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe. All right, so let's get into this. Let's talk about the secret for making a profitable cryptocurrency arbitrage trading bot in 2024. So you're probably already familiar with arbitrage if you clicked on this video, but basically that's just buying cryptocurrency on one exchange and selling it on a different exchange for a profit because cryptocurrencies are volatile and the exchanges fall to sync all the time. And of course, you can do this with major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, you could buy them on an exchange like Coinbase and sell on an exchange like Binance. But there's a problem with this, right? The prices can move on you by the time you buy on one exchange and move it to a different one to sell it. So the bots that I'm talking about in this particular video, and like the one I showed you here, this trader making over $20,000 in a single transaction, are blockchain-based trading bots that use decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, for example, and trade blockchain-based tokens, ERC20 tokens, maybe like Chainlink, for example. We'll use that in this video. And the big benefits of these types of bots are they're completely permissionless. If you have a connection to a blockchain and you can write code, you can make these bots and nobody can tell you whether you can or cannot do that, okay? The other big benefit is these bots, can't lose money. If you're trying to trade and the trade doesn't work, it's not going to go through and you can't lose money by moving them between exchanges, okay? And the last thing is you don't even need any of your own money in order to trade these types of things because you can use flash loans and you can borrow all of the money for this process. Now, in order to create one of these bots, you really need two major things. Number one is the smart contract that's deployed to the blockchain that hooks into each exchange and actually buys and sells the tokens. And if you're using flash loans, it also, takes out the flash loans and pay them back. You can see that as a diagram here on my screen, okay? Now, the other thing that you need is a searcher bot that actually watches for the opportunities in the marketplace. And whenever it finds one, it talks to your smart contract and executes the trade. Now, this is where the secret sauce lies. The secret I'm going to talk about in this video is with the actual searcher bot, okay? Now, I code these out in the JavaScript programming language. I'm explaining how to do that in this video today. But if you want to get good at this, or if you want to become a blockchain developer in 2024, then you need to get good at JavaScript. And I'm super excited to announce that I'm launching the end-all, be-all JavaScript training, JavaScript Bootcamp, on Thursday, February 15th. It's going to be the absolute best way to master JavaScript so that you can crush your goals as a developer. So make sure you sign up with the link down below to hold your spot for the special launch event. All right, so now let's get back to this. So again, you need two things. You need these smart contracts, and then you need the searcher bot that watches and executes the trades. So let's get back to the smart contracts. So again, these are going to be written in the Solidity programming language deployed to any EVM compatible chain. And this is where a lot of the heavy lifting is going to happen. It's going to actually facilitate the buying and selling of cryptocurrencies, and then also, taking out the flash loans and paying them back if you're doing that. Now, let's talk about the exchanges. So I recommend basically focusing on just two exchanges to start off with. You don't want to get too fancy out the gate. You want to get this thing working and then add the complexity over time. Now, the exchanges that I recommend are starting off with the Uniswap, and specifically Uniswap version 2. So you can see the website here. This talks to both Uniswap version 2 and version 3. But how you do that is basically you look at the method on the Uniswap documentation. They tell you exactly how to implement swaps for your smart contracts, swap exact tokens for tokens. And that's what going to let you swap on one exchange. And then you call that exact same function on a different exchange if you're using the method that I'm talking about. And that method is basically to take a Uniswap version 2 exchange like it itself, and then find a forked protocol that implements the exact same code base. Okay, so let me show you a trick. If you look at a website like DeFiLlama.com and you go to the Forks tab and you look at Uniswap version 2, you can see there's over 500 exchanges here that have forked this protocol. So the whole point here is if you know how to code for Uniswap version 2, you can code for theoretically 500 different exchanges. Now, they're not all active. Let's just say there's a few dozen exchanges that maybe implement this that could actually be useful to you. The whole point is, if you learn one strategy, you can rinse and repeat from multiple exchanges and open lots of other opportunities. And these are the types of opportunities that are going to unlock the secret strategy that I'll show you how to implement with the searcher bot here in a minute. Okay, so that's basically an overview of the smart contracts. You need to be able to hook into 2 different Uniswap version 2 exchanges, all right, and then implement the functionality for swaps, which for the documentation is basically swap exact tokens for tokens on the Uniswap version 2 router and whatever the router is for this other exchange that has forked Uniswap version 2. All right, so now let's move on to the searcher bot. So again, this is the second half of the equation. This is where the secret sauce is going to lie, which I'm going to explain more in detail here in a second. But basically, this is a program that you're creating, a script that runs on your computer and watches for these opportunities. Whenever it finds them, it fires, a call to your contract in order to execute the trade, which we talked about in the last step. So what do you need in order to create one of these? Well, again, I recommend doing this in the JavaScript programming language, but JavaScript is designed to run in your web browser. And if you're going to run it on your computer, you need something called Node.js. Okay, basically this is a runtime environment, so you can write any JavaScript program that doesn't run in your web browser. Okay, so you need Node.js, and then you also need Ethers.js because JavaScript out of the box does not talk to the blockchain. You need to be able to connect to a blockchain node and use a special library that lets you do that, like talk to smart contracts and all that types of things. And Ethers.js is the best library for doing this in 2024 with JavaScript. Okay. Now, finally, you need to be able to talk to the exchanges and you need to be able to talk to the cryptocurrencies that you're trading. So let's start with the exchanges. So again, I recommend using Uniswap version 2 because again, if you can write code for one exchange, you can write for lots of other exchanges. And they have a JavaScript software developer kit or SDK that lets you, essentially talk straight to Uniswap version 2. And you can see that here. Basically, you just download this package, implement it into your project, and they've got plenty of documentation here that will show you how to make swaps or talk to your smart contracts that way. Okay, get prices, whatever it is to fine tune your searcher bot. And then finally, you need to be able to talk to the cryptocurrencies that you are trading. So the best way to do this is with Ethers.js, like I was talking about. And whenever you are, talking to a smart contract in Ethers.js, you need 2 different things. You need the ABI for the smart contract, which is just a JSON representation of the smart contract, and the address, which you can easily find on Etherscan. Let's take the Chainlink token, for example, like I talked about before. You can get you can search for Chainlink here. You can grab the address here. You can grab the ABI right here, put it into your code, and now you'll be able to talk to that token inside of your searcher bot if you want to. All right, so those are the prerequisites that you need in order to start creating your searcher bot. So inside the searcher bot, what is it really going to do underneath the hood to start monitoring these things? Well, once you've identified the cryptocurrencies and the exchanges, what it's going to do is monitor every single trade that goes through on that trading pair for that exchange, and then watches to see what happens with the price. Because again, an arbitrage opportunity is created whenever 2 different cryptocurrency, exchanges fall out of sync, 2 dexes in this case. And what you want to do is look at every single dex trade for that particular token that you're watching as it's going through. So how do you do that? Well, you get on the router for that exchange. Again, I'm going to show you this with Uniswap version 2 because it's the exact same method for the other exchange. And you're going to watch every single instance of a swap event. All right. So how do you do that? Well, I looked up Uniswap version 2 here. Here's the address. I'm just going to pull up a random transaction. Okay. One of the last ones. Here's a swap. Okay. And you can see what it does is it has a swap event inside of here. All right. You can see swap here. And you're going to subscribe to that event with Ethers.js. And whenever that happens, you're going to check the price of the most recent trade. Did that trade cause the price to change from the other exchange that you're watching? And if it did, then you can do an arbitrage in this case. And at that point, that's when your searcher bot's going to make the call to your smart contract and then execute the trade. And then boom, there you go. Now, that's the mechanics of how it works behind the scenes. But what's the secret to really succeeding with this? Okay, that's what I really want to talk about in this video. Now that you have the context for seeing how this works, well, the secret is basically finding these profitable trading pairs and watching lots of different things, as they come up, and then, pouncing on the opportunity when it comes up. And now here's where it really gets important. How do you actually find this? This is a question that I get all the time. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so when you do this part, there's a little bit of just sort of manual research involved, but I'm going to teach you how to think through this process, okay? So first of all, there's a million tokens, basically, not really a million, but there's thousands and thousands of tokens that you could trade, and then multiple dexes. Okay. So one thing you could start off with is just looking at tokens in general. So a good starting point is going to etherscan.io/tokens and looking at the tokens that are supported on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, I'm just going to pick Chainlink token because it's one I mentioned already in this video. Okay. So you can click on Chainlink token, and then basically you could look at the address and you could pipe it into a website like Dex Screener. Okay, this is literally a website that just scans all the dexes and all these different chains, looks at the trading volume, looks at the trading pairs, and you can search for the Chainlink token address here, all right? And then you can see it's trading on Uniswap version 2, like I'm talking about here. And it's also trading on ShibaSwap, all right? Okay, and it's also trading on SushiSwap. And it's also trading on PancakeSwap, okay? So I just, mentioned 4 different decentralized exchanges here. And if you go back to the page that I showed you before on DeFi Llama, the forks, and go to Uniswap version 2, you're going to notice that all 4 exchanges that I just mentioned are Uniswap version 2 forks and will support the strategy that I'm talking about in this video. Okay, so you can rinse and repeat that. That's the secret. For multiple tokens, look at lots of different trading pairs on lots of different exchanges and find opportunities that other people probably aren't doing right now. And not to mention the fact that you can do this for multiple different blockchains. Okay, any blockchain that's EVM compatible that supports Solidity smart contracts and has Uniswap version 2 forks on it will do this. Okay, so I talked about Ethereum in this video, but there's Tron, Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum, Optimism, Base Chain, and so many more. And that's an overview of how this works and a secret to finding opportunities that other people may or may not be doing right now. Now, if you want to try your hand at this, then of course, like I was talking about before, you need to get good at JavaScript specifically to fine tune this searcher bot, because this is going to be the lifeblood of your strategy in this case. And I'm releasing the ultimate JavaScript training, the JavaScript Bootcamp, on Thursday, February 15th. So make sure you hold your spot with the link down below to sign up for the special launch event. I'm going to send you your invitation to join. And whenever you finish, make sure you subscribe, smash the like down below. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.